Hi, everybody, and welcome to Spa Babies, presented by Stonestreet. I'm Dan Illman along with Nicole Russo, and let's kick off the final Friday program of the Saratoga 2024 meeting with our Spa Baby race. Here's the field for the opener, also opening leg of a 50-cent pick five. We're going 5.5 furlongs on the turf for 2-year-olds. It is a big competitive field. 9 entered for turf. The 10 I Got Game is entered main track only, and Stonestreet has the 7 Encanto coming off a little bit of a layoff after debuting in a very tough spot.
Yeah, debuted in a stake that has produced several next out winners. We'll talk a little bit more about that race in depth, but Encanto picking up Javier Castellano as he comes to Saratoga looks like a big threat any way you slice this field.
A lot of first-time starters in this race, but a couple of experienced runners, including the number 1, Jack's Promise, returning off of a 2-month layoff after not doing much running in his career debut on dirt at Churchill Downs, basically trailed throughout. But one of the runners in that race, 80 West, came back to earn a 71 dirt buyer. The second dam was a stakes winner on both turf and dirt. What can you tell us about Promises Fulfilled?
Well, Promises Fulfilled by Shackelford, who's been a little bit versatile as a sire. Promises Fulfilled could win around 2 turns, but was at his best around 1, winning the Grade 1 Allen Jerkins as a 3-year-old. So the speed is certainly there. 3 winners from 9 starters to date. He was a tough racehorse. Jack's Promise showed little on debut, as you said, but they've worked him a few times on turf since that and must like what they see to switch surfaces.
The number 2 is Jean and Jude, one of 2 horses in the race trained by Jack Sisterson. He's a first-time starter by Super Turf Stallion Kitten's Joy, a $90,000 yearling buyback, and a full brother to Chicago Style, a Grade 2 stakes-winning turf router. This horse has a ton of grass in his pedigree.
Absolutely, but also a ton of distance. This is the penultimate crop for Kitten's Joy, generally considered a stamina influence. Would certainly love to see this one going longer. Glenn Hill and Sisterson, never afraid to play the long game, might just get his feet wet here and then come back with stronger efforts in the fall. But what a classy page on this horse.
Breezed in company with the 7 Encanto out of the gate, 3/8 of a mile back on August the 24th. Didn't think he broke as well as the more experienced runner. A little green early, but seemed to finish with a flourish. Maybe more distance will be his game down the road. The 3 is Tiz Dashing. This is a son of Belmont Stakes winner Tiz the Law, $215,000 weanling, going out for Barclay Tag. Flavian Pratt takes the mount. The dam was a debut winner, going a mile on turf at 2. Seems to be a lot of distance in this pedigree, but a Saratoga stable and Barclay Tag, they've had some success in the past.
Including with Tiz the Law, maiden winner at Saratoga as a 2-year-old back in 2019. I like that you see one-turn ability on both sides of the family. The dam won her debut at a mile on turf. Tiz the Law himself, a Grade 1 winner at a mile around 1 turn at 2. Tiz the Law by constitution, who's quietly becoming one of the nation's leading living turf sires. And Tiz the Law has turf stakes winner out on bail to his credit already.
Tiz Dashing shows some promising 5-furlong workouts on both dirt and turf. The number 4 is Nod to Tran. This one is a son of Mineshaft. Sold for $100,000 after breezing a furlong in a pretty sprightly 10 seconds flat. Mineshaft progeny, they seem to improve with a little bit of distance and a little bit of experience. But the dam was a debut winner, going a mile on the turf as a 2-year-old, and there is grass in this pedigree.
Yeah, I think the Dams family adds a little bit of quickness and grass ability underneath Mineshaft, who this horse would be bucking the trends for his sire, winning early and winning in a sprint here. That being said, coming off a bullet work, so it does seem like there's some speed there.
The second dam was a Grade 3 stakes place turf router as well. So some nice pedigree coming out of the bullet workout. The 5 is Lo Carrain. This horse made his career debut, but caught a muddy dirt track, and he just didn't seem to like it. Brief speed, tired. We know this guy is fast. He sold for $90,000 back in April after breezing a 1/4 mile in sub-21 time. The dam, a 2-year-old stakes place synthetic sprinter. I have a feeling the win-win-wins are going to be okay on turf.
I think so as well, seeing as how Win 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 is by Hat Trick, a son of Sunday Silence, who did some good turf work. And of course, Sunday Silence, just a monster international sire in Japan. This one caught a tough spot on debut Whitney weekend behind Ferocious, was bumped at the start to boot. I think this one can show a much improved effort second time out.
The number 6, Maui Strong, is trainer Dale Romans' second entrant, and also the second entrant sired by Kitten's Joy, a $275,000 yearling. The dam's a half to No More Rich Blonde, so I think when the UAE Oaks going long in Dubai, you note the asterisk next to her name, that means she was a debut winner, but there's also good turf and synthetic ability, just a nice all-around pedigree, and with Kitten's Joy on top, leaning to turf.
Absolutely. And the other Kitten's Joy, and yet another one that I would like to see going longer. Again, Kitten's Joy, primarily a stamina influence, and you see all that graded and group stakes route ability on the bottom side of the page on dirt, turf, synthetic.
The 7 is Encanto, and Stonestreet snapped this one up for $280,000 as an overseas yearling purchase. The dam's a half-sister to Responsible for Love, a multiple stakes winning turf router from the family of Vale of York, who won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile when it was contested on synthetic. Just a tough race in the debut run, facing 3 next out winners. It's been a while since that start, but he did show good speed on debut.
Yeah, showed good speed on debut and encouraging that he's working well up in Saratoga. And not only did he face those next out winners in that Royal Palm Juvenile, the winner of that race didn't win next out, but he was just second in a group stakes at the renowned Royal Ascot meeting. So just a classy race he's coming out of. Runner-up Reach for the Rose will also be active this week in stakes company at Saratoga. So make sure you keep an eye on that for further clues as to the form of Encanto's debut.
Encanto was entered and scratched less than 2 weeks after his debut, but he has been working without delay since coming back to Jack Sisterson's barn for heavy training at Saratoga in early July. The 8 is Gate to Wire, and he's actually the morning line favorite in this race for the potent trainer-jockey combination of Todd Pletcher and Arad Ortiz. He's a son of Munnings, who sold for $95,000 as a yearling, and you see just a ton of turf ability on the bottom of this pedigree. The dam's a full sister to a Group 2 stakes winner and a half to a Group 1 stakes winner.
Yeah, and Munning's one of those rock solid sires who just does everything. You see his statistics there with 2-year-olds and with turf sprints. As always, encourage you to check out the Clocker reports produced by our colleague Mike Welsh and his team for insights into these first-time starters. But Gate to Wire has a string of bullet works for Todd Pletcher, and it looks like the screws are tight for debut.
Second dam was very productive. Not only was she a Group 2 stakes winner in England, she's full Princess Highway and Royal Diamond, and another Group 3 stakes winner in Ireland. The 9 is Code of Justice for Wayne Lucas and the red hot Dylan Davis, an $850,000 yearling by multiple champion sire Into Mischief. The first foal out of a Grade 2 stakes place turf router. The family's been active recently with the New York bred El Grande O, a multiple stakes winning 2-year-old last year on the dirt. Second dam, a debut winner, stakes placed on synthetic. Some quick workouts here, but it is Lucas, and sometimes he likes to give him a race or two.
Yeah, they always seem to improve in that second or third start. That said, there are few riding hotter at Saratoga this summer than Dylan Davis, who gets an opportunity for this barn.
And if the 10 I Got Game runs main track only, he would be a very, very strong contender based on 3 prior solid races. Let's take a look at our top selections for our Friday Spa Baby race. Encanto has the experience. I like the speed he showed in that race. He seems to be working well for this, and I think experience counts, and Encanto earned a strong buyer speed figure in that debut.
Yeah, and certainly a debut where he's coming out of a solid, solid field, solid competition he faced. I landed on Encanto because when I looked at this race, we often talk about at this time of year the horses who are developing versus the horses who are the right now horses. And he just seemed like the right now horse in this spot.
Everyone watching at home will have the advantage of watching the tote board before the opener at Saratoga on Friday. Keep an eye and see if any of these horses are taking some unusual tote action. I expect Encanto to take reasonable action off that good debut. Gene and Jude, his uncoupled stablemate, showed he could keep up with them in that recent workout. Maybe I'll look at him and maybe the 3 Tiz dashing for Saratoga and Barkley tag. 7859 for Nicole, 7236 for me. It's our Spa Baby race on Friday, presented by Stonestreet.